Good evening. Welcome to the 5-8, where we discuss each of the week's 5 most fucked up topics for 8 minutes each. 5 topics, 8 minutes. 2 hosts, I guess.
Maybe.
But not tonight. Some curse words, a little singing, and as many cocktails as we deem necessary. LB, how are you?
I'm good. I'm having a Diet Dr. Pepper tonight, and I am in the 5 of the 5-8 time zones.
Okay.
Back in the old set here.
That's good. Yeah, I can tell you there's a California glow about you.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm having a little internet issues. I apologize for that, everybody. So if I freeze up, take a screenshot if there's a funny face. Why not? Just make fun of it all. But yeah, strike is over. Strike is over.
I was going to say, it's good news, right?
I had a feeling it was coming and flew back and making sure I still have a career. We're all writers are in a bit of a panic. If you weren't in an active job at the moment the strike happened, we just haven't worked this whole time and now have to get our jobs. And so, but it's all good. It's all good. And we'll talk about that later. Yeah, there's a lot to get into.
We'll talk about that later.
We'll talk about
I'm having Redemption Rye neat because it's the 5-8 neat. And for those unfamiliar, what that means is that there's no guest. So it's just the two of us making castles in the sky and talking about the topics. So that's what we're doing tonight. That's the 5-8 neat as opposed to the regular 5-8. And this is the 65th show. I keep screwing up the Roman numerals. Arthur, thanks for correcting this. I don't know what I think I'm going to just retire the Roman numerals now. After it gets to C, it just gets confusing.
As much as I know that you contemplate the Roman Empire, legitimately, you're one of the few, since we found out that's what men, all American men, all they do is think about the Roman Empire.
Yeah.
But actually, I know one that does.
Yeah. Those were the days,
and
Those are the days. In fact, there is a coin in ancient Rome that the reverse depicts the end of a gladiator bout where the guy's putting a spear into the prisoner and the inscription actually says in Latin, "Happy days are here again." So this is true.
No, it does not.
I swear to God, not making it up. Not making it up.
That's how old that is?
Yeah, happy days are here again. Felix, whatever it is, I don't know. My Latin is a little rusty.
Yeah. Don't turn to me for Latin. Mm-hmm. That's my pops, not me.
You just Greek, sure. Babylonian, absolutely, but no, not Latin. So, did you hear the news?
What news?
RFK Jr. is now running on a third party. It's the CKTP. I don't know if you know about this party. It's the Clueless Kremlin Tool Party. That's his official party. Good on him for telling us exactly what he is.
Are we sure he's clueless?
I cannot say. We're gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. Not that he deserves it, but no, I don't know if a guy's running and just spewing just straight up Kremlin propaganda. That's bad, right? It's been 7 years of this. We can all spot this now. We know who this guy is, right?
Yeah. Right? So moving over to the independent side of things puts him in a position to actually be a spoiler because he's not going to get kicked out when he won't win the nomination. He's still in there trying to peel votes away. So he won't get elected, but he can nadir this all the way into Trump's pocket. And I think that's what everybody should be paying attention to, quite frankly.
Don't you think that maybe there's people who are going to vote for Trump that don't want to vote for Trump, but instead will vote for him instead of Biden, and then it'll be a wash? People have been proposing that too.
Well, you can have a GOP wash in one hand and shit in the other and see which one fills up first. Doing an adaptation of that old saying, but no, it's going to give Trump the nomination, or he wouldn't be doing the presidency, or he wouldn't be attempting it. That's why Roger Stone and Steve Bannon are behind him.
Yeah,
that's the only reason. Yeah. So, I mean, there are others, but that's the main reason. So everybody can get pardoned, apparently. So should we get into it?
Let's get into it.
Let's get into it. let's do our 5 segments, 8 minutes each. The clock is ticking. Kevin versus the world.
Kevin versus the world. I'm talking, of course, about Kevin McCarthy, who's had quite a week. There's a lot of news this week. A lot of it is generated by McCarthy, who is, he's a clown. We know this about McCarthy. Again, every time we bring the guy up, I know he's the Speaker of the House. We have to bring up, he disseminated false claims about the election before the election. He signed on to the Texas lawsuit that didn't want to certify Biden. Right after, like a few weeks after the insurrection, he was in Mar-a-Lago kissing the ring of the guy who orchestrated the insurrection. And when he became speaker on the 37th or 38th ballot, I don't know. It was written in Roman numerals, so I can't tell. What happens? He immediately thanks Trump. And so this guy, he has no agency of his own, but he's in a pickle now. There's 2 different things happening. The first is this impeachment business. It's not even an impeachment business. They're trying to find some reason to impeach Biden, and they cannot find one. So they put their top men on it, which is Jim Jordan and that Comer guy, and then this Jason Smith person who I've never seen talk before. I tweeted about this that guy. I mean, he looks like Chris Farley in the van down by the river. I mean, he looks like him. He doesn't really sound like him. He sounds like, I'm not going to say what he sounds like, but he
sounds like a squeaky toy. Yeah.
It's like these are aren't. I mean, isn't their whole thing that they're like alpha men and, they're thinking about the Roman Empire and this is the best they've got, these 3 guys? I mean, they're I don't know. So they're trying everything up to and including just, photoshopping fake shit and throwing it into the discourse, as that one guy did this week to try to make anything, stick to Biden. And it's just not working because even Turley, Jonathan Turley, who's, he was the guy, he's not basically on our side most of the time, was like, yeah, there's nothing. There's nothing here. I don't know what you're talking about. So they have nothing. But I think back to the Ukraine thing. Remember the extortion bit in Ukraine where Trump, all he wanted was them to investigate Hunter Biden in Ukraine. He didn't care if he got caught or if there was any wrongdoing.
He just wanted the announcement of the investigation. He wanted the piece of the soundbite, the piece of propaganda. That's what he wanted.
And that's what this is. That's all this is. They want to be able to say, well, Biden's under investigation for, possible wrongdoing, and we're just impeached by, we're impeached. And so people who are dumb enough to not pay attention to this equate what Biden did with what Trump did, which is how many, 90 something laws now that he's charges that he has. I don't know. I've lost count.
91 count.
More than episodes we've had of this fine show. It's a lot of things. We've been on for a while now.
Yeah.
So
and then, because Kevin is it's not enough. He's got to have the world, or at least try to stop it, try to come up against it. He's going to shut down the government.
Yep. Yeah. And it's him. It's uniquely. So what's happening, just for, we have these spending bills and they have to pass. And the Senate, Mitch McConnell, they passed a bill in the Senate to do this, to extend it, whatever. It's there. All Kevin McCarthy has to do is put this bill up to vote, and it will almost certainly pass because there's going to be enough Republican, the entire government, to stop functioning and stop paying for military people and, kids in orphanages and all this kind of stuff. There's enough Republicans who are, in purple areas that are going to vote for this thing. And McCarthy knows that, and he doesn't want it to be out there because he's afraid that he's going to make his whoremaster, Donald J. Trump, mad. Because, again, the only reason that we want to shut down the government is to throw more, sugar in the gas tank of all of the many, investigations into Trump. That's all this is all about. But he also but the Matt Gaetz section of the House, the super MAGA people, they hate Kevin McCarthy and they want him gone. I'm not really sure why, because he's pretty much does whatever they say. Remember, we made the song, Margie Green, you've got yourself a speaker. Even though she didn't want Kevin McCarthy, she's basically running this thing because Kevin will do whatever she says. She wants more tax, more cuts, more austerity, this and that. They all want chaos. That's what they want. Yeah. And again, this is not on the Democrats. This isn't even on like some of this is all, it's the MAGA shutdown. That's what Hakeem Jeffries called it.
I haven't heard that yet. That's such
Hakeem Jeffries called it that. And that's what everybody should be calling it. The MAGA shutdown. Yeah.
MAGA shutdown. Yeah.
So there are ways I think that they can do something to temporarily install a new speaker just for this bit. I was reading about, some of the intricacies of this. So it'll be interesting to see how long it lasts if McCarthy winds up keeping the job. Because there really isn't anybody else, I don't think, that's going to get the votes necessarily. So I don't know. It's going to be weird. There's also the possibility that Democrats will vote for McCarthy just to keep it going, which is also, a thing that could happen. Yeah.
I don't know. There's a part of me, it's not good that people are going to be out of work. It's not good that our military is going to take this hit financially, which they will. Mm-hmm. None of it is good. It is an attack on democracy. It's just chaos for the sake of chaos, because as we kind of have been covering and addressing, these are not serious people.
No,
they're not. They don't know how to, I think, even have a job anywhere in the real world.
Yeah.
Oh, it looks like I froze, or you froze.
I think you froze.
I am.
Yeah.
I froze.
Your audio doesn't freeze, though, so it's okay.
Oh, good. Okay, as long as my audio is going. So here we have it. This is they need this. They need it shut down, because otherwise they're going to have to show up and do some work or deal with the fact that they've ginned up a ridiculous impeachment. Just because you impeached our guys, they're going to impeach your guy. It's just none of it is serious. All of it is sandbox. It's just all the sandbox. And that's my mood.
Yeah.
I can't handle it.
It's rubber and glue.
All right, 38 seconds. I think we're done. I don't have anything else to say about these fucking people. I really don't. I loved all of the impeachment stuff, and we'll get to that a little later too.
Yeah.
That was coming from the side of the Dems.
Yeah, it was good. Are you frozen or am I frozen now?
I'm frozen. So sorry, guys. I apologize. It's me.
Okay.
It's me. All right. So here we're going to put that timer on and go right into the second one, because we don't know if we're going to get frozen out.
Okay.
All right. Second topic, fraud guarantee. Greg, Olear, what happened? What happened? What could possibly happen since we were last together?
Lots of things happened. But one of the things that happened is that, so this is what I find funny about this. Trump is under indictment in 4 different jurisdictions now, right?
Yeah.
And we've all forgotten about the civil case in New York State being brought by Letitia James. And suddenly we were all reminded of it because, the judge found that this guy basically inflated his books and lied to, his creditors about how much his properties were worth for years and years. And it's a big fraud. And now he has to dissolve. He's not going to be licensed to operate his businesses in New York State anymore, which, if you're based in New York State and do real estate in New York State, is kind of a problem. I think I'm not a lawyer. I'm not, an expert in this stuff, but it seems like if I'm the owner of a real estate company based in New York and I can no longer do legal business in New York, that might be a problem.
Yeah, I actually don't know how long he's been doing real estate since he turned his fraudulent money laundering, operation with real estate for foreign funds into an emoluments operation. I mean, I don't know that he needs it. I don't think he owns anything. I think we are going to see. I said something way back when in 2017 at hashtag Trump owns nothing. He doesn't own any of this. I don't even know that he owns his name anymore. So, because he was in such massive debt and he was just giving away his properties and sticking his brand on stuff and going through the paces, even like in places like Batumi, of opening up breaking ground so that they could flush money through, but there was no intention to build something, or the money laundering operation that Ivanka was running out of Baku with that Trump Baku, right?
Yeah.
That was tied into the Iranian Revolutionary Guard, and they admitted it.
Yeah.
And no one has even questioned it. It's like, oh yeah, they did that. So that's what Trump does, So maybe we'll find out who owns his properties through this. I'm not sure. I'm interested in how that all fleshes out. I would love everybody to keep their eyes on that, and see what kind of information comes out, because God knows we're not going to hear about it in the press. So maybe we will. I don't know. But this guy, all the old greats that took him on successfully back in the day, David K. Johnson, his name, why can't I spacing on it? I know his name very well. I used to work with Wayne Barrett. I wish Wayne Barrett were alive to see this. But he's going down. He's going down for being a big time fraudster. He won't go to prison. As you said, it's a civil case. But I think he's going to lose it all. He's just going to lose everything. He's liquidated. It's it.
They're also they're making They're making criminal referrals here too. That was part of the thing. So
let's see what happens. That should have all happened. I think everybody should have a side eye. Now that I'm a New Yorker, I hadn't liked Bragg since he got in. I know you are like, no, my friend says he's. I'm like, if Cy Vance was finally coming around, was going to prosecute. Why did Alvin Bragg shut this all down? Clearly, there's a massive case here. What was he doing? So I think that needs to be brought back into the discourse as well. And this man needs to be challenged. Yeah, I get it. He got not a mugshot, but he was the first one to trot Trump in front of a judge, or Donald after I hate calling him Trump. After that, I don't even remember what it was. What did he do in New York? It was the Michael Cohen. Daniels, the election interference, the porn star. I keep forgetting about the pornography.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
it's complicated. But again,
the election fraud with the porn star.
Right. I mean, and big picture here, everything that he's involved with is because he is insecure about the size of something. With this, it was the size of his real estate portfolio. It's the size of with Stormy Daniels, that kind of size. It's the size of his wallet. It's the size of the inauguration.
The size of his building.
Yeah.
Literal it's all about floors.
Big.
Yeah.
He's like the song on the Peter Gabriel album. Peter Gabriel wrote a song about this like in 1983. Come on. And that's who Trump is. He's like big time made flesh. And it's very obvious. That's it. Even his indictments, so many indictments. You've never seen so many indictments, so much indictments, so many charges.
Winning.
No president has had this many charges before. It's exciting.
Yeah, it is. I'm happy for him. Good for him.
Good for him.
He's breaking records left and right.
And now there was, before we came on, there was the bit of news that Scott Hall bail bondsman guy has flipped and is cooperating with Fani Willis in Georgia. And, who knows what that means ultimately, but, there is now the possibility that, once, how it goes. Once one person gets the deal, everyone runs for the exit kind of thing. So the chaos and shit show might ensue even more chaotically and shit showedly as it already has.
Well, we'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see. I don't know. These aren't ordered individuals.
Yeah, true.
They're disordered. So your guess is as good as my guess, your guess. It's all a guessing game. I still feel the pang of both Paul Manafort and Mike Flynn and Weisselberg. Mm-hmm. Right, going through we're cooperating, we're going to do it, and then boom at the end. No.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and we're being reminded. Thank you very much for this reminder, dear listener. As soon as the towers fell, he was interviewed on 9/11. Were they both down? I think they were both down.
Yeah, by then
he had to come on and make that declaration of I now have the tallest building, and it was such a impulse for him to make sure that he called in. Maybe he was panicked about other things.
Could be.
But he had to call in to the live New York radio when there was mass, real true chaos and suffering and shock and what would end up being just this a mass grave, already a mass grave, bragging about now he's got the tallest building, because that's what he is. And
size matters.
And size matters. And still, all these fucking Americans are going to vote for him. Yeah. I want to vomit.
I know.
All right.
Quickly.
That's that. 34 seconds lit.
Okay. Quickly. The whole he owns Trump Tower and it's his is kind of, I wanted some real estate thing to look into that, because it's a condo building, right? Condo buildings in New York, when you buy a condo, you own the condo. If it's a cooperative property, if it's that kind of housing, you actually buy shares in the cooperative, and you don't own your own apartment. You own shares in the corporation or whatever. But a condo, you actually own the apartment. So the Saudis, whatever floors they bought, they own that. And, whoever else, whatever Russian mobsters bought stuff that he sold them to, whatever, they owned that. So the idea of Trump,
who owns his condo?
That I cannot say. All 33,000 square feet or whatever he said it was. I think that's what he said in his thing.
I think I 33,000. The story. It's so stupid. I told the story, and I'll come back and tell it again, not tonight, of Cody, who was the head of the union at the concrete union that ended up being part of the concrete cartel. Mm-hmm. And the woman who he bought a condo for, but it wasn't his money, who I pretty much deduced it was Castellano's woman. But we'll tell that another time, because it's a really good one. They did not trust Donald to put in any of the electrician. They had their own wiring crew, which was very rare. It never happened at that time. The building, as the building was being built, this was as it was being built. So we'll talk about that. It's a fun one. It's a fun one.
Okay. Yeah. Put the pin in that mob.
Put the pin in that mob.
All right. It's time for,
It's time for the vault. I think we did have a little book tour this week, which might be the only book that I buy out of the book tour crew, of former White House people. So you and I have been talking about her quite a bit, and we decided this was the week, since we're doing 5/8 neat, we're going to pull out when we used to do karaoke neat from the vault. Yeah.
Is set to testify, and I knows what to grasp. Your former boss refused to appear. On either when ship alone, they might just as well be mine. All of Donald's Goombas quake within. It's such a mobbed up world. Everyone is so untrue. Cassidy, you spoke about a girl. Careful, he might strangle you. He can throw the ketchup. He can hang my pants. He can end democracy on the flimsiest pretense. He's got judges on the take and justice on the fence. He's mob. He's mob. He's mob. The lights are on, but no one's home in Garland's DOJ. All we have is pissless trader's wrath. But she's pals with Ginny, and she loves the overstay. The truth is ever ruled by psychopaths. It's such a mobbed up world. Cassidy, the West is yet a burn. Sadly, we have only
Hey!
Yay. Shout out to my wife, Stephanie Faint John, for
Shout out to
her Billy Joel
Stephanie.
impression. This is very good.
It's so great. I love Drunken Billy Joel. It's the best. Oh my God. Well, I just can't believe how prescient it is. I mean, it's just nothing's different. It still works, every beat of it. So it's a little depressing, but
Yeah,
there we are.
it's depressing,
Yeah.
but that's why we have the Billy Joel, make us feel better.
Yeah. That's fine.
Yeah.
Everybody. All right. So
Moving on.
we are rolling through tonight. Our third. Now I
What
can't
about
remember
Bob?
Oh, what about Bob?
What about Bob?
What about
I'm
him?
talking, of
Right.
course, about Bob Menendez, the senator from my home state of New Jersey, who was indicted right before we came on the show last week. And we promised that we would talk about it this week.
Yeah.
So what I did is I went and I did a deep dive, and I'm like, I'm going to have to write about this because it's important that we as Democrats and people on the non-MAGA side of things, when people on our side break the law this egregiously, we need to call for their dismissal, removal, indictment, conviction, whatever. So, we have to talk about this. And I did a little deep dive, and oh my goodness, this is worse than I thought. I mean, the indictment is insane. Okay. I don't know if people took, I know there's a lot of stuff going on.
It's awful.
He's the chair of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, which among many other things signs off on money that goes to foreign governments. So if money's going to Israel or Egypt or wherever, if he doesn't sign it, it doesn't go there. So he has a super powerful job in which he's directly responsible and, dealing with foreign governments in a way that involves lots and lots and lots of money. So he's also probably, I would guess if I was in a hostile foreign intelligence service, I would be targeting this guy. Anyway, so he got married again to this woman named Nadine Arslanian, whose parents are Armenian. She was born in Beirut. She left Lebanon during the civil war there, moved to London, from London to California, from California to New York, and somehow found herself at the IHOP in Union City, New Jersey, where the owner of said IHOP introduced her to Bob Menendez, who she described as
cute meat cute. Yeah.
She described him as, quote, very, very hot, unquote. I don't know what to say about that. Yeah. So, this is what's going on. In the graphic I made, I just did Boris and Natasha and recolorized it because that's what they kind of look like to me. So when the FBI,
Rocky Bullwinkle, yeah, Boris and Natasha, yeah.
When the FBI, searched the house, they found enough cash in the house to buy a house, and gold bars.
Very handy.
Gold
Very
bars,
Roman
a couple,
Empire.
$100,000 worth of gold bars. So all told, about $650,000 worth of cash and gold. And he comes out and denies there's any wrongdoing, and is trying to explain why he has all this money squirreled away. And he's like, my parents grew up in Cuba and they had to hide money. And
please.
The banks, $650,000.
Yeah.
Where did that money even come from? You're a senator. So also in the indictment is that, she, Nadine, before they got married, was buddies with this guy who has deep ties to Cairo, to the Egyptian government, and was basically, according to the indictment, getting this money in exchange for helping him, giving him information, helping with this stuff. There was a thing about involving a contract for halal meat going to Egypt that he was allegedly working out to try to give them a monopoly on. Lots of shady shit. And and Pete Strzok last week alluded to this, where, the guy's already been indicted for corruption before in 2015.
And got out of it, got a second chance.
Hung jury, and I don't know. And all of his defense, if you read his defenses, very, very Trumpian. He may as well have said the deep state's out to get me, because he blamed forces on the inside that were out to get him. Because why? Because they can't stand it that a Latino American is in this position. That's why they're out to get him.
That's why they're out to get him.
Yeah.
Ian and Enrico Terrio have that in common, I think. Yeah. So listen, I have to look at. I still haven't looked at the timelines and gone back to it. There's a note about Menendez that's, I think, important to just a detail to log in everyone's brain. And then I want to look back at the years. He was the first big senator, or one of the first big senators to champion, back in the day when Bob Levinson had been captured. It was a few years after that, but to champion Bob's for the resources to keep, working with the family, trying to get the resources to get Bob Levinson out of hostage. Bob Levinson, for anybody who doesn't remember, was the longest held U.S. captive in history, former FBI agent in New York that was on the Gambino family beat in the 70s and 80s, and then watched the Russian mafia roll in, saw what a threat it was when no one else was really paying attention to it, and became known as the Mogilevich hunter. So he focused in on Semyon Mogilevich, who was all of Donald Trump's business partners seemed to have money from this guy. I wrote a big thing about it, did a lot of research on it. So that was Bob. And then he went into the private sector.
Oh, froze again.
Gone. So you can read what I've written about him, and with Lou Nu, who did great research. We can talk about this all day long. The point being that Menendez
championed him. Yeah.
Amount of corruption with him began after that. So whatever that means, it means. I did see that John Cipher today, who I do respect and look at on Shitter, whatever this app is, and as a professional, was tweeting out an article written about what it looks like this year. Just looking at this man was being cultivated and recruited to be a foreign asset, right? So at the very least, he should have registered FARA. He's an unregistered foreign agent for Egypt. At the very least, that's what he is. And God only knows what he did with the sensitive material he had his hands on.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like to me that isn't the case, that it was just pure, tit for tat, quid pro quo. Hey, help me. I'm going to get the halal meat deal and I'll give you these gold bars. Okay.
Well, we'll see. Could be actually even more sinister.
It could be. Yeah.
So,
and
we'll see. I hope, I want him to go away. Go. Resign. You can't have this in the Democrat Party. You can't have this level while the Republican frontrunner is indicted under the Espionage Act for actually stealing all these secrets. Like, fuck off, Bob Menendez. How about that? Fuck off. Go away.
No, Chuck Schumer said that no, innocent until proven guilty, blah, blah, blah. So.
Oh, Chuck Schumer.
Yeah.
Had enough of him too. It's nonsense.
No, I think, it's one of these things that in order to maintain the high ground, we have to get rid of the guy. And New Jersey has a Democratic governor. We're going to get like I said last week, we could get Senator Springsteen. We could get, who knows? There's lots of cool people in New Jersey that can do this job. So, he's not the only person that can do it. I alone can fix it. No. I think it's one of these things where we're going to have to, your screen froze and the face you're making was particularly funny.
Oh, good.
No, you were like snarling, like you're almost like, yeah. It was good. I'm going to have to go back to this. What is it? 3820 when I pull the picture to you
guys. That's the way it goes.
Yeah.
That's so okay. I hope that.
Yeah. Yeah. He should be fired.
Guys. So here we go.
Okay, you're frozen again, which is right at the part where we want to talk about the strike.
Am I here?
Now you're here. You're flickering in and out. Is it? There's like a thunderstorm there or something? I don't know.
I'm here.
I blame forces on the inside for going after your Wi-Fi. Yeah, forces on the inside.
I already started the timer though. We're at 7. Okay. We've got 7:34.
All right. With the strike, what happened with the strike? Good.
Oh, we have a little promo of something new. We're gonna try something out, guys.
Okay. Do we want to do this now? Okay.
We're trying out a new game. So, Greg, as you play that promo, I'm going to log off and log back on and see if it helps.
Okay, that's a good idea. Okay, here we go.
All right, I'll be right back.
Okay.
How do I know? You said I'm funny. How the fuck am I funny? What the fuck is so funny about me? Tell me. Tell me what's funny.
Get the fuck out of here, Tommy.
You motherfucker. I almost had him. You stuttering prick yet? Frankie, was he shaking? I wonder about you sometimes, Henry. You may fold under questioning.
Okay. The game is fucked or funny. And so we're going to debate this, whether the story I'm about to tell you is about myself and whether it's fucked, I'm fucked, or it's funny.
Okay. Right. Wait, your mic just went out.
Oh, of course it did.
Okay, now you're okay.
Okay, it has to do with me coming back into town for the end of the strike. So I'm all excited. I can tell the strike is going to end. When Donald Langley showed up in person, I was like, oh, this is it. I got to get back to LA. Right. Because I knew she's actually a good executive. And despite all their big, huge salaries, which are villainous salaries to begin with, I knew like these guys aren't showing up in person unless they want this done and ended. So, and they had the power to do it because the writers were just asking for, the same thing every time. This is what we want. This is what we want. This is the minimum of what we want. This is it. And we stuck to it and we got it. So there's all kinds, you guys can read about what we got. For one of the things that's underreported that I'm thrilled about is with the streamers, we have the right, they have to disclose the data to us now. They didn't have to do that before. So it was always here we are, like those of us who've been around since before these streamers writing, it was very weird when they came in. I think I've said this before, of you're going from these, brick and mortar studios where everything's been done the same, in a way, the same way for years and years. Everyone's professional, development executives to the heads of the studio. You've got producers on the lot. You've got writers' buildings on the lot. It feels like a home when you're creative, especially a screenwriter, and you make it to where you're working on a lot and, getting those kind of gigs and writing movies, whether they make them or not, in my case. It's traditional and it's La La Land. It's fantastic. And then in came these streamers. In came the Netflix and and it was weird. It was like Silicon Valley just came. And it was like, and the meetings are weird and they're talking about data and demographics and we can't share any of that with you. And we had, there was our residuals, in the success of shows, even like my podcast, which was launched, Apple's streaming platform, a podcast platform, launched it. And they're like, well, we'll be able to tell you, we'll know exactly how many people you converted into subscribers and everything, and you get paid this amount on it. But then they would never show us the data. We couldn't get the data and we weren't getting paid. So that's now in the mix. Now they've got to show us. And so finally, for the first time, we'll have eyes on our content and what happens with our content with these streamers, and they will pay on the performance of it instead of just saying, well, your show didn't do really well, but not showing us how or why. Even we're like, how? What do you mean? So big gains across the board. The first regulation of AI, we've got gains there, like just as, breakthrough moment there. And hopefully the actors who are still on strike, everybody remember the actors are still on strike. They still, there's entertainment industry funds to help people out. We still need to, support them. We've got to be there, back them up. But this deal gives them the possibility of big gains as well. So it's a heroic moment for labor. We stuck together and we did it. It's thrilling. So I'm back in LA. I'm so excited. I have my, boom, Wednesday, the deal's over and my meeting was already scheduled with my agents. I'm there. I look great. I'm ready for this. I've lost some weight even. I'm coming back to LA after my move to New York and the strike. And it's fantastic. And everyone's on a high and we're feeling good there. Here's what we're going to do. Here's what it looks like the landscape. Then I'm in Beverly Hills. I've got a meeting with my girlfriend after that, and yay, birthday celebration for her. And I'm right there. I'm literally 2 miles. I could have walked to the Writers Guild thing. And then I come back and I'm like, just on this high, I'm like, great, with my friends here, right? And then I go to sleep. I wake up at 3 a.m. as I always do. And there I'm looking at the things and there's all these pictures on Twitter of my cohorts all celebrating in the theater because the strike, and they had a party. And I missed the party because the email for it came in like any other email during this whole strike process. It was like, come and you can either Zoom in or you can come and hear about the gains that we made in the contract. And it didn't register for me that this was the celebration party. So then I realized, oh my God, I fucking missed it. And I'm in town and I was right there. I missed the party. I didn't read all the way down where it said, we're going to have refreshments and snacks. And if I had read the refreshments and snacks line, I would have realized it's a party. Because it doesn't say, we're going to celebrate. Come celebrate. It didn't say that. It said, we're going to be here to tell you about the deal, and there'll be snacks and refreshments. But I didn't get to the snacks and refreshments. So it was like, it was the Homer Simpson moment. And I feel like it's a fucked up thing. Like I'm here. It's fucked. I don't know. What do you think? Is it fucked or is it funny?
Can I just say, is it both? It can't be both. Can't be both.
Can't be both.
I have to pick one, I think is the rule of the game.
One.
So, okay, we have to analyze this a little bit. People in the comments seem to say you're fucked. Okay.
Yeah, dough. I'm seeing dough.
Yeah, there's a lot of fucked. And, sure, this is something that's probably never going to happen again. You were right there and you missed it and you're never going to be able to ever.
And never going to happen again. It's a once in a fucking century strike. It's like this huge thing. I was part of the whole thing. And I missed the party.
On the other hand,
I don't know who wrote that email. I need to get some writers.
Maybe the party sucked. I mean, it was in the middle of the afternoon.
No,
how much fun could it
you
have been?
should see the jubilation.
Yeah.
I'm left tweeting it like I was in New York. I'm tweeting it, but I'm here. I'm still fucking just tweeting.
I mean, but then it is kind of funny because, it's just a party that you missed. And it's not like you were it's not like you were at work. It's not like you were working at the Starbucks as a barista. You were with your friend, right? You were having fun. It's all fine.
I was sleeping and jet lagged.
That's even better. You sleep, it's nice to be asleep. Sleep is nice, I don't know. So therefore we can say the stakes are very low and therefore it is funny. And,
I think it's fucked.
And therefore I cannot drink the glass that's in front of me. But that's exactly what you would think. So I cannot drink the glass that is in front of you.
We switched the glass. Here, did you put the fucked in both glasses? Is that what we're going to find out? Did you poison both glasses?
I've spent the last 6 years developing a resistance to fucked. So there.
So it's
that's
funny.
What you don't know.
Okay. So it's funny. For anybody who doesn't know, that's from The Princess Bride. I hope you guys all got that. It wasn't too off. All right. Anyway, that's our new segment. It's not that it's going to be a personal story every time we do it, but we can go into something of like, oh my God, is this fucked or is this funny? You know, I don't know. Sometimes it's hard to tell.
I mean, I think Boebert in the theater maybe is a candidate for that. Like, is she fucked or is it funny? Like, I think, but again, sometimes it's both. You really, I do think she's fucked though, in that case. Although not in the theater at that moment, which is probably what she wanted, but her career is going to be over. I think that's so. I think that's going to cost her enough votes. She lost by a dozen votes or something. People don't like that stuff. That's classless, weird, I don't think I think she screwed herself. I do. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Maybe. All right. Do you have any announcements for us this week?
We have a couple of announcements. Yeah.
Okay.
I want to say, first of all, last week, let me see if I can find this thing again here. Slides. Here we go. We have this to join, right?
Yes.
We would love for you to subscribe. We'd love for you to join. And for anybody that joins at the membership level of Velvet Rope or Green Room, which is $5.99, and the other one is, I think, $19.99, we set up a Substack. So now we have the Substack, and it's private. It's like behind the paywall. So if you email wait, let me see if I can find this thing. I'm just all over these exciting. Here it is. There. If you email the 58.media@gmail.com, if you've joined at those tiers and send me your email, we'll add you to the Substack, and then you can comment and use comment boards. So I think people are getting in. It took a little while, but
to get in. I saw a couple.
People are in. People are in. There's a little bit of dialogue happening.
Good. Okay.
We're hoping there's going to be more. One day we're going to go to Shitter, as you call it. Shitter is actually not the Elon Musk site. Shitter is where Donald Trump hid all the classified documents.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
What a line. What a great line. I'm so glad that made it into the congressional record.
Yeah, it's wonderful stuff.
It is good.
So anyway, we've created this thing. It's there. You have to email. I will say, if you subscribe yourself, it doesn't work right. You have to email the email and let me do it. So that I can give you the access.
Of all of this, it will get done.
That's what was determined by me over the last week. That's the one thing that has to happen. So if you're in, send an email to that address. We will add you, and you can join the fun. So and thank you as always. We appreciate the memberships. We appreciate the community. We appreciate the show. We appreciate you. And that's it. That's what I've got for announcements. So
I love it. I don't have any. I never have any. I never have anything new going on. But I actually that's a vast understatement. I do. It just takes a while, and then boom, there's a lot of news. So just hang in there with me, everybody. There'll be some news soon. Okay. All right. Let's go to our final topic. Unimpeachable. Yeah. So, we were talking and with a friend of ours about the women that have shown up amidst all of this corruption, as especially I think since January 6th, right? Just the heightened quality of the human beings who happen to be women. Truly, you get down to it, is that there's unimpeachable character there. There's a spine in some of these women. They're the only Republicans we've been able to find that are behaving the way that we all thought and hoped Republicans would behave, as they did back in the day with Richard Nixon when he was caught in all of his corruption, to just put country over party, have been women. Have been women, and didn't do the Jeff Flake retire. I just have to leave, and Liz Cheney stuck it out. And she went ahead and ran for it, knowing she was probably going to lose. And she didn't compromise herself, and she didn't chicken out.
Yeah. Right?
She's not somebody I would vote for, right? With the thing, because I don't agree with her on abortion rights and our bodies. But she was true to who she was. She wasn't a spineless coward. She wasn't a power sucker.
Mm-hmm.
She had character, unimpeachable character in the moment that it mattered. Cassidy Hutchinson, another young woman, right? Who was so far down on the totem pole of these men having all this power around her. And as you so rightly said, when her story first came out, she was running the country.
Yeah.
While all these men are running around with their heads cut off, trying to figure out how to hang on to power, even by a coup, a violent coup, where law enforcement died.
Yeah.
Committing this now, we know, massive acts of espionage to have hands on classified, all of this. Here's this young woman who just held the line. Right? What can they do about that? They don't know what to do about that. They don't know what to do with her. Except try to impeach her character. And you can't, because she's just sticking to the truth, weathering it, going forward. Her composure, as someone is saying in here. Incredible. And then you have these young, new Democrats, right? I'm starting to really fall for AOC. I know a lot of people have been in the AOC camp from the very beginning. I don't know. I wasn't that political, as I've said before, believe it or not. But how she's been handling herself in these, both the sham hearings and when we had the real hearings, unimpeachable.
Yeah.
Just incredible character. That woman that you referenced, oh my God, I don't know her. I'm just being introduced to her from Texas, this young congresswoman.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So everywhere we look, we're seeing women stand up to power, to corruption, right? Regardless of, on principle and sticking to their principles. It's not hard for them. I don't know why it's become so hard for all of these men to just live their principles, or what the principles they declared. I guess they never meant it. I'm not trying to be a misandrist here, but it's glaring to me. And then we get to Senator Feinstein, right? Who passed away today. And in her day, what she did for the lives of every American by actually getting responsible gun legislation passed, which all got reversed because she was a friend, which put her in this survival camp of Harvey Milk, who had been gunned down, right? Just executed by a crazy person.
Yeah.
And so she did that for all of us and saved lives. Thousands of lives. I don't know if you can go to millions, but we now know what happens when these guns proliferate like this. Thousands of lives. I don't know why she had to end the way she ended in terms of her political career. I don't know why her family kept her in there. I don't know what Chuck Schumer was doing. I understand all the, we would never get anybody appointed because of these Republicans. Well, that was Mitch McConnell, doing that as a minority leader. And then he had the gall to stand on the floor today and talk about her as a dear friend. So they wouldn't have treated a man like that. Anyway, I had all those thoughts swirling around in my head about women who serve and their character.
Yeah. Well said. I think we need to throw a little more opprobrium at Mitch there, because karma might come to bite him in the ass real fast for what he did with her. And we'll see what happens. The Republicans have said that, oh no, we're going to let everybody into the committees. Fine. We'll see if they really do it. And if I don't understand how the Senate majority leader can't just put somebody on.
Be a majority leader?
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm dumb. Maybe it's kind of like when Hillary Clinton wins the election by 2.8 million votes and doesn't get to be president. I don't know. it's
Well,
some
at least
inherent
there's a
dumbness in the
process
system.
there. But you can say, well, we have the Electoral College, and so there's something that's been in place the whole time to where you can have the popular vote lose to the Electoral College. What Chuck Schumer ceding his power in the Senate without thinking that's what he's doing all the time because he can't get creative, or he can't even communicate. This is why we can't have what we want to have, even though these people are in a minority. We got to vote them out, or we're going to wait until maybe not tip his hand, but wait till somebody's, the people are on vacation, convene everybody that is going to be Dems and pass some shit through. Do something.
Yeah.
Something. As you said, just try it. Try something, Chuck Schumer.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to happen. I don't.
No, he's not the right guy for we're seeing this a lot.
We've got a lot of duds.
It's always the men too who are the duds, isn't it? So, to your point, but there's a maxim in the military that the generals are always fighting the last war. And I think that's what's going on here. He's operating like it's 1997 or something. It's just not. It's a different time. The stakes are much higher. The threat level, it's threat level midnight, man. And, and he's not acting like it. He's acting like everything's fine. It's all hunky dory. I mean, we're in a situation now where, okay, she's now passed. So we're going to get a new senator from California. Menendez should resign. I don't know if he will. That would be a new senator from New Jersey. They're both Dems. It's a little bit of chaos coming in, but I don't know. On the other side, McConnell has had his moments of not looking so great, and I don't know. We'll see what happens, but
we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
we'll see what happens. But in the meantime, we can celebrate the spine of women.
Yeah, we can. I feel like also the women pay the price more in this sort of thing. Like it's always, like the whole Martha Stewart thing really bothers me, because how many guys do insider trading on Wall Street like all the time, right? She goes into this one thing. I mean, she's the one that they make an example of. Why her? Right. And you go back to like, why Leona Helmsley and not Donald Trump? Why? I don't know. Must be something there. There's something to it.
It's a mystery. It's as mysterious as why Donald is so obsessed with size. There's, these things can just never be known.
No, they can never be known. Isn't Donald Rumsfeld said that, right? There are known knowns, there are unknown knowns, there are known unknowns and unknown unknowns. And I think this is just an unknown unknown, That's what I think. So we're not going to do the after hours tonight because you got to go.
I got to go. I got family stuff
and
going
it's an unforeseen thing that you got to attend to. We will definitely, come hell or high water in Brooklyn right now. God, be safe, everybody. We will do it after hours next week. So. And
you know what? We appreciate everybody. We always appreciate you showing up. We appreciate when you subscribe. We appreciate when you join. We appreciate just seeing your comments on here. It's really lovely. Really and just having a space where we can talk. We will be back next week. Maybe we'll have a guest, maybe we're not. I love it neat. But this has been fun, Greg. And you know what they say, Greg?
What do they say?
The traitors are easy.